Hi, I'm Val Girling, and I'd like to talk to all those people out there who want to get better at creative writing but seem to get stuck for ideas and for twists in the plot, or for place names in general. And I think that the best way to get through these problems is to start to do research. Google, I find, is the best place to research. Obviously, you may need to have some good words to enable you to search and find the pictures that you really want or the places that you really want. But I have found some wonderful inspiration on Google. Obviously, if you've seen some of my other films, you've seen that we've travelled a lot. So I have my own pictures, my own photographs, and my own travelogues about unusual places that we have visited, and they actually do help me get inside that place rather than just looking at a picture. I am reminded in particular of pictures that I had seen of when I've been researching some futuristic type space type centres. I found a picture that suited the bill, and it turned out to be the Arts and Cultural Centre buildings in Valencia. So in January this year, before lockdown started, I decided that I'd like to go and see these buildings firsthand and see what they were like. Well, what I wasn't prepared for was that the pictures on the internet, although they had shown the actual buildings, they hadn't shown the scale. And I was amazed at how huge these buildings were. And I managed to take some photographs that really helped me to feel, a totally different, get a totally different impression of this place than I had when I looked at photographs on the internet. So, yes, going to places and getting inspiration is the best. If not, then looking at books and doing research on Google is the next best. And learning to actually then change things so that they are original. The other point about place names and character names, you can again research different languages, research different cultures, so that you can find names that are unusual. But I would just caution you about making names up that actually nobody can say. Again, this is cropped up on the creative writing blog, where people have said, oh, what weird names have you created? Yeah, well, it's all very well putting a load of consonants together, but in actual fact, if a parent or wants to talk to their child about the story, if it's a children's story, or even if it's an adult book and you can't actually get that name in your head, you lose the character, and in actual fact, that's working against you to make up too weird a name. So if it's meant to sound weird, then maybe you could think about actually writing it phonetically so that it's said or thought of as it is written, so that people can easily get the character in their head. It's very difficult to read a science fiction book, for example, with a load of weird names in it when you can't really get those characters into your head. And I've had difficulties myself, which is why I don't do it in my own books. I try to make sure that people can say those names. And I've tried them out on people to see if they say it the way I've written it. And if they don't, I change it. So think about those names. Do your research. Think about having these places in mind when you are writing, so that when the reader reads what you've written, they are also quite clear and can picture where you're talking about, or who the person is, or the alien is, or whatever it is. Because obviously that part of the point of writing in words is that we paint pictures. And if we're not going to provide pictures, admittedly, I illustrate my books with small pictures because they're for children. But if we're not going to illustrate the books, then on the stories, we need to paint the pictures with the words. And therefore, we need to make sure that we choose things that actually paint the picture properly for what we are imagining, and communicate that over. So I hope that when you're next thinking about location, describing a location, finding names for your characters, you will think long and hard about how you write them down and how well you write them, and test out the little bits of writing that you've got on a friend or perhaps even a blog site where people might give you objective criticism, and actually see if it works, and if not, change it. Because if you lose your audience because you're not describing things well enough, or you're not evoking the right character from the name, then your writing is not going to be successful. So, friends out there who are trying to write better, like I am all the time, I hope you've taken some help from this, and I'll see you again in another film clip. Okay, bye.